Hi, I'm Rick Conlow. I'm glad you're here. We're going to talk about 3 characteristics of a winning attitude. Henry David Thoreau said this: most men lead lives of quiet desperation and go to the grave with the song still in them. I don't know about you. I don't want to have that happen to me. And there's too much potential in you for that to happen as well. So what do you want out of your life, your career? Would you want some career advancement? Most people we come across want that. They want to do better in their job. Most want some recognition for what they do, to feel be appreciated, to make a difference in what's going on. Who wouldn't want to make more money? Is that true for you? Absolutely. And then what about your family? You want to provide that quality of life for your family that you maybe only dreamed about. Now, when we talk about these characteristics, if we have the right attitude, it's been said, it's not your aptitude that determines your altitude, it's your attitude. It can make that kind of difference in what you do, because you do everything with a lift, with some inspiration, with some enthusiasm. Winning is a state of being. It's not a contest won or a goal achieved. It's how you look at life. You start from the position that I am a winner now. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. And quite frankly, scientists say that we use only 10% of our potential. You know, there's some debate about that. In a recent movie called Lucy, there's a scenario where she's able to tap that 100% potential and is able to do some amazing things. Well, the point here is, if we believe that we're a winner and we're starting there, we begin to believe that there's not much we can't do if we become a student of the game and we work at it, if they have the right attitude. So that's what I want to talk to you about. And my business partner, Doug Watsbaugh, and I have done a study of what superstar performers do. You know, there's almost a cult about the superstars in sports and entertainment. And I'll talk about that a moment later. But we studied it in the workplace, and we've got 4 different books related to that, and we found some commonalities in terms of their attitudes, which I'm going to share with you. So here they are, and I'll talk about each one separately, but a focus on the possibilities, persistence in what they do, and pride in what they do. So let's take the first one. The possibilities is first. Dr. Viktor Frankl said man's ultimate freedom is his ability to choose his own attitude. And just a quick thing, he was in a German concentration camp and deprived of everything that we all take for granted about life. But yet he found that those who had a will to survive, who would choose the best in spite of their horrific circumstances, were able to continue on. So as a psychologist and a psychiatrist, he knows what he's talking about. We get to choose. So if we're in despair, we have chosen that. If we're winning, we choose that. As I said before, it's an attitude. And here's 4 people that people would say they have all rights to be in despair and depressed about what's going on, and maybe even feel like losers, that there's no hope for them. Bethany Hamilton had her arm bitten off while she was surfing. She was a very good surfer, but she had it bitten off. She loves surfing. And now you would say, well, just quit, never going to surf again. Are you kidding me? She chose to win. In spite of the pain, in spite of the difficult, she went on to be a champion surfer with one arm. And you may say, well, big deal. Well, it's hard to get on the surfboard with one arm when you're in the water and the waves. She did it anyway because she made that decision, because that's what she loved. Nicholas McCarthy, one-handed pianist. He's a master. Look at his website sometime. In spite of only have one hand, he plays beautiful music. I have 2 hands. I can't play at all. Well, that has nothing to do with it. What has to do with it is his attitude about it. And he chose the possibilities. Cliff Young, 61-year-old pig farmer, decided to run an ultra-marathon in Australia. No prior experience. And people tried to talk him out of it. But guess what? He ran it anyway, and he won. He beat the elite runners in the world. And at the end of the ultra-marathon, people asked him, how'd you do it? And he said, I don't know, I just kept running. In other words, the other athletes at the end of a long day would sleep. He didn't. He kept running. He set records for what he was doing because he chose to. He just did it differently. And Diana Nyad, I have a brief story about her attempt to swim from Cuba to the United States. And I don't know if you knew this about Diana, but she failed miserably 4 times. And to be in the ocean with the waves and potential storms and sharks and jellyfish and, wow! Why would she try a fifth time after all that hardship and pain and failure? But she did anyway. She finished it on August 31st, 2013. She got it done. See, she believed in the possibilities. It's what she wanted to do. She was a winner. She didn't lose before. She just got better. You see what I'm talking about? There was this man at the Grand Canyon. A lot of us are like him. And he's watching this beautiful scenery, and the wind came across to get strong across the gaps in the canyon, and it blew him overboard, and he's falling, he's yelling, ah! And there's a branch sticking out of a cliff, and he grabs it, and he's swinging there back and forth. And he's yelling, help me, someone help me. And no one's around. And so he did what a lot of people do in desperation. He hollers out, God, save me. And he got an answer. God says, I'll save you, son, but I want you to do one thing for me. First, the man says, anything. Thank you, God. Thank you. And God said, let go. The guy is hanging on. He looks around. He says, is there anybody else up there? See, a lot of us want to hang on to what's so familiar with us. We don't want to move from where we're at to the new potential, to the new possibility. We don't persist long enough to get it done. Abe Lincoln made this quote. President of the United States made this quote one time in his life. I am the most miserable man alive. Whether I'll make it, I do not know. You ever feel like that? You don't know if you're going to make it? Wow, that's a tough spot to be in. But we know from history he made it. All that prepared him for something better later, something grander. You see, his difficulties in life prepared him to be the President of the United States at a dark time in our history when we were pulling the nation apart, and he was there to pull it back together and then go above and beyond that by freeing the slaves, the Emancipation Proclamation. You see what I'm talking about here? He hung in there anyway. Yeah, we all have those kind of feelings. We get some help for it. We get support for it. We learn what we need to learn. And we focus on the possibility and persist our way through it and getting there. And it's amazing what we can do. Just like Abe Lincoln. Now, we may not all be the president. Doesn't matter. We could be Ludwig van Beethoven. Beethoven, one of the greatest composers and conductors of all time. 9 symphonies, 32 sonatas. He lost his hearing. I don't know about you. That would be a hard thing in the music business. You can't hear. He even got to the point he'd listen to vibrations as he played the piano so he could figure out the notes he wanted to write. Wow. He did it anyway. He didn't quit. And Diana Nyad, I already mentioned the persistence that she had, knowing that on the 5th attempt, she'd have all the trials she had before the other time she tried. Persistence. Don't give up on yourselves. Others aren't giving up on you. You have that potential. The third element then is pride. Pride. A young lady wrote this to her music teacher. Dear Miss Harper, the name of the music teacher, my mother said if I wanted to be good at playing the piano, that I should practice, work hard, and do this long and apply myself. That is why I'm writing this letter. I decided to quit to play the piano. Signed, your student, Susie Thompson. She gave up too soon. See, you know what? We've got to have pride in what we do. We're made in the image of greatness. Believe it. Trust it. Stick with it. Doesn't mean we do everything right all the time. It just means we have that within us. That's where we're starting from. I have a little granddaughter. She comes over. She's 2.5. She's always got a smile. Always jumping up and down. Always want to do something. Very seldom a problem. Everything's exciting. Everything's new. So much creativity about life. And that's where children start from. And then they become adults. And we tend to squash that to a certain degree if we allow it. Remember where you're starting from. Remember that pride. Not that you're better than others. A study done on top salespeople found that the success of salespeople, 7% of it was based on their skills and knowledge. 93% had to do with the attitude that we're talking about. So our attitude about things. We can improve our attitude if we work at it. We read positive things. We focus on some goals. We do some training and education. We associate with positive and uplifting people. We get support and admit when we need help. Those kinds of things are about attitude, and that's what I've been talking about. And that's what superstars in sports and entertainment do. I've listed 3 here. Gretzky and Federer and Jordan. Wow! They didn't quit. They just kept at it. And even when they were at the top of their game, they kept working at getting better. And 2 books epitomize this. Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell and Talent is Overrated by Jeff Colvin. They both found that those people who excel in their careers, not just athletes or entertainers, but any walk of life, stick with it. They believe in the possibilities. They persist. They have pride in what they do. They don't use those words. Those are ours based on our study, but we use them to epitomize what we're doing. And then they just practice at their craft. That's what these gentlemen found in their research. Wow. William Henley said this: "Matters not how straight the gate, or marred with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul." If it is to be, it's been said, it's up to me, isn't it? I have this dream that soars on golden wings. I visualize your achievements and your legacy that sings. I do not know all about your persistent efforts to raise the bar. I only know that you can be the best, a superstar. Keep winning. Take care.